So this video continues from where we did 9p, and we will now run Qt examples. I already set up these examples. I recorded another video, but then I started talking about SRIOV and how to split an Intel GPU, and since it's not mainline yet in the kernel, it took much more time than I wanted, and I decided to, for now, to not upload it. So perhaps I will just upload, perhaps I will just do some of the steps again and then show it. But basically I installed a package of Qt 5 examples. I copied them under the rootfs that I'm mounting via 9p. Let's see what we have here. With this name, okay, and I already chrooted into it. And I copied one of the examples there to demos, like we had the LVGL ones. And so here, like keyboard and mouse coordinates, and this is another deliberate faulty example. I'm not going to get into it now, but basically we have this file that is like dynamically linked. Okay, we can see it here. And if we go and do LDD on it, we will see quite a few libraries. Boom, be amazed, alright? So we have like the libgl, and we have all kind of libqts, okay? So this is dynamically linked, and this runs over the same system that I had before, okay? And just so you know, I did chroot into it, okay? So the first thing I want to show you here is this one is using the kernel that we built, like a very particular branch over here that would be BizBox initwip. Now, I don't know if you will see it, if it will still be like this or it will be merged. We'll see. And the commit basically would be a bumping of this kernel, and this is the kernel that we were using that like has like a DRM, frame buffer device, and so on. Okay, so it's the same one that we were using before. And just a quick reminder, other thing that this fellow was using was from the videos in 2020. It actually was using, it started building on having like a keyboard and a console, okay? And then we added more things to that, all right? So there is a keyboard of like some part, and what I want to show here is, before like start running the example, is let's say that we do like the chroot again. It will be like the same dev directory, okay? But you can see there is no input directory here, all right? Like if I went ahead and did like the change VTs and type with a keyboard, this would work. I'm already like I already set the thing in motion, so I'm not going to do it like right now. But otherwise, we already saw that it would work inside. Let's see. So it would work inside the chroot, and I already did a chroot according to what I see now, right? Yes. Okay, so here is the thing. What I am claiming right now is that we did great with this system, but if I want to run like a Qt example, and I will not get into detail because I'll show it like later, like to export Linux FP or DRM or whatever. And I will run, oops, I'll go to demos, and I will run this trivial, this file. I will not take care of like the terminal right now. I need to set lines and export it. I just want to do things easy. It's going to say the following things, like I'm expecting to do it here, but right now it's not doing. Say, hey, Qt libinput, I cannot find ref count, yada 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 yada. So there are all kind of plugins that tell whether Qt will use its own input handling framework or use the kernel ones, mostly via something that is called like udev, like when we do like the plug and play and events. And when I want to start and explore something like this, first thing I want to do is see what input devices I have under dev, and I can see that I have nothing. And if I go and look at my kernel log and look for the word input, the only thing I see, if you look at a config like from years ago, is it an i8042 keyboard driver. So this is definitely not what I have in mind, okay? And I need to actually add input. Now, since we're doing graphical user applications, and it's after 1980, then maybe it's a good time to actually also have this fellow like a mouse. This input is recognized, and we can see, hey, devices, platform, so on and so forth, serial. And if we went to like sys class input, yeah, we actually have like this fellow here, which points like the same thing. So we don't have like the mouse, and let's go ahead and like add it, okay? So our command line for that did not add like any devices, like it used like QEMU like default ones, okay? So we can go and add devices like with a bus, okay? Like we could go add a USB bus. I will not put like the parameters, okay? We need to say where we connect it. So we need to go over like some PCI, and then we could add a USB, a device, USB keyboard, USB mouse, okay? But we don't really have to, okay? Just like, by the way, to tell you like what are like the defaults. If I look and do like QEMU system, let's say 6 devices, grab oops, that device. Yeah, so like the VirtIO keyboard, it's going to be a VirtIO keyboard connected via PCI. That's going to be like the default. And we already have PCI bus like for like the display graphics, so we're good. And we also have like touch. So I thought there's supposed to be like USB touch and like mouse. So we have USB mouse. We have like we also have USB keyboard would be KBD, okay? And essentially, I think I somewhere here ran with it. Yeah. So if I wanted to like add like a device and add a bus, I could go ahead and add a device, like USB controller. This is the bus where I put it. Sometimes I need to be specific because otherwise, like if it's connected via PCI, it can like collide with another PCI, like my graphic card, okay, like this one, for example. So QEMU will usually tell you, warn you about some things, but you need to know this kind of thing. So this is not the important thing here. So before, I just want to remind you, I ran like without any of this, so I like use the defaults. Okay, you can go to the QEMU monitor and see what it adds. But let's add another device, right? And if I look at the keyboard, then we will see that we're supposed to see serial something. We don't have USB keyboard, that's fine. So we can't use the USB bus. And let's do keyboard like this. And we have input keyboard, and we should have the serial AT keyboard somewhere. So there it is, like 2. So you can see that it depends on a i8042. That makes sense. So now let's see if we also have some mouse, okay, in our tiny config. So we don't even have input mouse, right? So it's pretty much like pointless. But now we're going to change this a little bit. So we'll go and say about mouse. We want to have it, okay? But then it will propose particular mice. So we did this guy, okay? And we can pretty much go and skip most of this. but I'll leave it as is, and I will not forget to also use EVDEV, okay? So I don't need it for it, okay? But I want it. And why do I want it? I want it because it allows me to very easily go and listen on particular events. So let's first see what's happening without EVDEV, okay? Let's say that we add this, and let's say that it compiles. So let's look at diffconfig, source scripts, diffconfig. Pretty much says what we needed, okay? And let's make F26. Told you it would be super fast. So now I'm going to go and run this again, and before doing the chroot, I'm going to see if I have something more as per input. So look at this input. I can see like in the logs, RIO input 2. Quickly I'll go to sys class input, and then I have both of them. All right. So this sounds promising. But if I go to dev input, again nothing. I have no representation of this. So why and what's going on here? So there are ways to actually get input, but if I really want to go and start working like very easily and see what are like the key presses, what are the key events, and see what's going on, then what I want to do is add something very quickly. That is what I already mentioned. So we're going to add EVDEV, okay? We're going to put here this guy. Can also have like event debugging, which can be like very nice, okay? So it tells you exactly, hey, if you want to see like all events, output the system log, blah, 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 blah. Your key presses include your password, right? But this is like when I used to teach all kind of like a long-term academies, we would usually explore why before we went, to the big guns. So I'm not going to do it here. And as promised, this is going to be super quick once again. And those who know me, of course in person, or those like who follow me, I like when things are fast. If you have Linux, say, oh, boom, we're done. So now I will do the same thing once again. And then I will go and the message grep input. Let's see what we have. Same keyboard and mouse. And now under dev, we also have dev input. And we have event 0. So this is amazing. This is great. And the question will be, hey, what is event 0? So let's see. Okay. Now I am on my screen here. Okay. And just for fun, I'll do cut to this fellow. I will hover, move the mouse, nothing. But now I'm clicking the keyboard, look what's going on, okay? So that's nice. Let's be more sophisticated. hexdump-c event 0. So it doesn't tell me much, right? It's not like it's showing like the keyboard text right here. But it does show me some structure, right? Like some hexes and then followed by 0. Now I'm pressing something without leaving, and so on. So we're pointing in the right direction, okay? And also do another thing. I'll use busybox mdev-s, and voila, we have another device. So what really happened here? So we had a keyboard connected, everything was okay. The mouse itself, let's see how exactly it is connected. So sys class input. And now we also have like 2 events and 2 input. Before we only had like input 0, okay? So we have a skip of event here. The reason is interesting, but not for now. And what we can see is that, okay, input 2 points there. So let's go here. And each one of these inputs, it also have, look at this, like under like the folder, it has like an event that it points to. Okay, so if we go to input 2, now we can see that it's like ser.io here. Okay, we can go to capabilities and see what's going on, but we're not going to look at it like too much. All right, see the name is this generic mouse, which you could see here. Okay, and if I now cut dev input event 2, sorry, event 1, and I move the mouse, look what's going on. Alright, this is me moving the mouse. I don't know if you can see, but I'm doing it. So this is good. I mean, so now we have something more to work on. Okay, so there are like these 2 events. By the way, if I went to dev and went to input and cut, I do not have like the non-events one. Okay, so having said that, I'm going to chroot again to mount host and then bin bash. I'll export, let's use units fp for now, okay? And we have the events 0 for keyboard and 2 for, sorry, 0 for keyboard and 1 for mouse. I had before another example, but I will just slightly adjust it. Let's just go to demos. And let's even see if it works. Okay, so I'm just going to run trivialwizard without anything. And again, it tells me, hey, libinput failed, I can't find this, I can't find that. Failed to initialize screen, don't know what the frame buffer is, like it's all confused. But now it's different. You know why? Because I did not bind mount. This is what I said before, like about the bootstrap. So I'm going to now mount everything here and devtmpfs. I already did the udev plug and play, like the udev events on the busybox side. Just for fun, I'll do proc as well. Okay, and now we'll see dev input, right? And now we'll also see dev frame buffer or DRI, because I put here both, because I put something that's called the DRM frame dev emulation, or at least I think that I did. So let's run again like this QEMU thing. Just reminded you that it has a lot of like libraries, okay? And again, it's complaining. So no lib input, defaulting to this, defaulting to that. So, but it does not complain about the other one anymore. So what we're going to say is, okay, no worries. We're going to set, I will not spend time spending this because it's annoying. We're going to set what were like the different events that we have. So for the mouse, in this particular example, it's going to be event 1, and for the keyboard it's going to be event 0. And again, it's still unhappy. Libinput, unref, assertion, libinput, ref count failed. So now it's starting to be really annoying, okay? Because we know we have mouse, we know we have keyboard, but still Qt is not happy. So we need to start thinking, hey, what's bothering you? Okay, so one of the things that we can do is go ahead and tell it, hey Qt, we don't want you to use like a libinput, and see what's going on there. And it's still not working. So this now has to do with more missing features in the kernel, okay? Because the full-fledged one worked. So we need to start again seeing what Butter does and what did not work. So this is the next thing that I'm going to do now. But since this is now just like when they're having to add like the RT-mutixes for like the BusyBox splash screen and things like that, since this is like actually starting enabling features, you need to start figuring out what they are, which actually right now I don't know. Like my kernel is very minimal. I need to start looking, but I do want to show another thing. I will figure it out like later. I do want to show another thing that's like debug. EVDEV debug. Sorry. Yeah. So I will want to go and show this one. Okay. So I'll build it. It will also be quick. Diff config nothing. Make fast. I'll get rid of the chroot and the emulator. I will put it again. This is, by the way, the same kernel that I've been building, right? I mean, there is nothing like a very sophisticated in it. Cat proc. Okay, message. Now I'm inside, and it says, hey, input 2. Now I'm clicking and not moving. Now I'm clicking the right click, left click, 272, right click, middle click, okay? Now I'm writing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like on a keyboard. Space bar, okay? Control, 1, 2, 3, 4, look at the code. Now I move the mouse. 5, 6, 7, like 7, the code is 8, okay? 0, the code is like 11, okay? I do like escape, the code is 1, okay? Sorry, so the values, that's for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A is 30, B 48, shift A, shift and 30. And that's like how it goes like with the input. So the input subsystem is working, okay? There is no doubt about it. So this is annoying, but on the other hand, we have another thing that are annoying as well. Like, hey, function timer is not implemented. And if we go to VI, it says could not set timeout, function not implemented. So let me install strace. And now see what's bothering it. So if I do like chvt, strace. So it's going to tell me, hey, this is right, it doesn't matter. Timer create. So timer create is not enabled here, so I'm going to go to the kernel basically code and see what I can do about it. From the source it will be easier for me, but maybe it will work as well. Let's see if this tells me anything. Okay, so this it's like a system call. It's called timer create. We need to see what it calls in the kernel. Let's see if it tells any particular config. No, it doesn't. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to source. It's probably here. Okay, POSIX timers, conditional sysco, okay. That looks good. maybe configured out, POSIX timer syscode. Okay. So I have a pretty good hint, okay? To look for one of like the POSIX things. Yeah, so POSIX timers. So let's go ahead and set this, okay? Figured out to reduce the size of the kernels. So now I added this one, okay? With EVDEV, and I will do a nice diff config here, and that's what we have. Alright, so we add a timer. I'm writing to myself. So I'm going to make again, and this particular problem will be solved. Like with a chvt, with it was actually annoying me for a while. But it affects the syscall interface and it affects all kind of things. So more than one thing is going to be rebuilt now. This will fix the chvt. And it's not good enough, it's not enough, but it's not bad either. Okay, so it took around a minute, maybe less. Now let's just see that the annoying chvt works. Alright, so I'm exiting here. It's not a busybox one, it's the Debian one. Just important to clarify that. And I will run this again. And I will do chroot to mount. I'll do chroot to mount host bin bash. Let's see what I'll do. devtempfs proc sys. I'll look at what's in dev input. We have 2 events, that's nice. I'll look at the message. We still have debugging on, so now I do some key presses here, and now I'll look at the message again and we see them, okay? And what I want to see now is what happens if I do change VT. Now it works. Okay, I mean it's the frame buffer itself that testing, but the system call works. And VI no longer complains for timer, which is also nice. Will this help us with Qt? Probably not. So let's export QPA platform here. And let's do trivialwizard. And it still doesn't work. And it still doesn't work. So this is not a problem. So we need to figure out again what the problem is. So back to the kernel config. So let's just nail it. So menu config event fd, and you can see that event. I don't know if it will be using it. I suppose it will be using poll, but just for fun, maybe it's selected. Just for fun, let's select this, okay? And we will do epoll. And I think that this is the one that that will be needed. Not, let's just put it to test. Just the epoll. So while I paused this, I looked at what is standard and maybe anything in the config, and I figured out that EPOL is there. So pretty much, I'm pretty sure that like the Qt library pulls for the event file descriptors, so it needs to have this. I remind you, I started with a very minimal kernel configuration. Okay, this is why I also like in my courses when we start. Hey, this is to see your environment works. Like I just use one of the dev config or something close enough to it at the beginning of the course. Okay, I don't want to like break the spirits of everyone. So this is like what I did here, and let's see if this helps us. And now I'm going to exit this. I'll start again. Let's do chroot mount host. I want to do it in bin bash because this terminal is terrible. Then proc dev sys, and let's go to demos. Let's export this guys, and let's look at trivialwizard. And here, yeah, so we have double pre-detected. Woohoo, cybersecurity. But we are progressing actually. Okay, so I have no idea what's bothering it, but at least libinput is not asserting, it's just having another issue. So let's go ahead and provide it with some devices. Event input event, yeah, and see if it makes it happier. And it doesn't make it happier. Okay, so this will be probably harder to debug. Let's check another plugin. Maybe we'll be luckier then. Linux ETLFS. That's for like hardware accelerating. And it's still like this. So let's refer to the previous one. And again, strace. What was its name? Trivialwizard. Look how non-trivial something very trivial is. So let's see what bothers it, and if we see it like fast enough before it does like a double free. Maybe it tries to do something and fails, like in one of the system calls. Plugging, not interesting. Runtime root, not very interesting. So these are some I/O control on what? By the way, look what's going on. We have the equal create and timer FD create, and there we have it again, like function not implemented. So you can go and debug those like one by one. And now that's what I'm going to do. This video is long anyway, and like why not? So menu config, timer FD. Maybe we also need event FD. This is like where I'm thinking to myself, oh, I probably shouldn't be publishing it because I didn't nail everything like in 1 minute. But on the other hand, if somebody is like wanting to see how to debug all kind of things, they're going to say, hey, this guy is like a kick-ass, it's like really good. So yeah, I'll pause it. And I mean, I can just add everything, but I'm doing it like very carefully, one by one. Okay, so it built, and let me get out of here now. We added timer FD, and I'll chroot again to mount host and bin bash, and I'll mount procfs. Oops, procfs and devtmpfs and sysfs. Yeah, I could script it a bit. I'm recording as I'm doing, okay? Like I'm not like that's how it is. Yeah, I want to go to demos and export this guy and see if it crashes again. Now, if I will, it's like going to be like jinxing and Murphy law. If I asterisk it, it will work, and if I don't asterisk it, it will not. But let's just see. Okay. So we just want to see that it doesn't like crash again, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, and it doesn't. Whoa! So we nailed it. Okay. So we were like really good. And there is something else because it's supposed to show here like a couple of buttons, but for now we should be happy enough. There is only one problem: we didn't provide it with any input event. So let's do that. Okay. Maybe it's about resolution, but I do not think so. Yeah, it is about resolution. So interesting, but it does not recognize my buttons. So now I will go exit it, and the next thing I will do is give it input events. So this is how I do it. I'll first do and then show. I click it and then we see that the mouse is actually moving, okay? You know what? When I worked over it yesterday with like the other thing, it did work better. Yeah. So I mean, speaking of like input and stuff like of the positions and so on, I'm not sure what's bothering it. I can mod set it, but yeah, it's too much time. I don't want to do it. Oops. And I did something that I really didn't want to do. I just left it altogether. So mount dev host. Sorry. Mount host bin bash. Not mount, sorry. chroot mount host bin bash proc. There's a good chance it's only devtmpfs, to be honest, but sysfs, we'll go to this demo things, we'll export Linux FP. And then we'll run it like with the plugins. And it works okay. I don't know what it was before. I literally didn't do anything, I didn't cheat, but now mouse is working. And let's see if keyboard works. And yeah, so we have a tutorial and we're all good, okay? So we finish it and we go out, and just to be happy about it, we'll now use it. Here, this is what I started saying at the beginning. My host GPU configuration is not good for pass-through. I'm expecting Intel to, I mean, it's somewhere in DRM next actually. I'm expecting the SRIOV drivers from Intel that are useful like for this particular laptop that I'm using to be mainlined sometimes. And then I'll be able to do pass-through without a GPU pass-through without having like another GPU. So this will be using a DRM, and it will probably say, hey, falling back to software rendering or something like that, but it's because I'm using like a plugin. Where is it? Yeah, so it works again, and I was expecting it to complain, but it didn't. But okay. So yeah, so I know what will add it. Yeah, it did say like running on a software rasterizer and so on. So that's what I wanted to show basically, and it works well. And I added like a couple of configuration options. So now let's see if I have here like on a root file system. I do. Great. And actually, it didn't need the other configs for that. It did work. So let's go ahead, do like a little bit of chroot mount host bin bash rock dev debug, and I'll go KMS cube, and it did not work. Which is not the way it was supposed to be. It is supposed to work. So, but now I don't know if I missed something on my command line, or actually I'm not sure what was missing here. So we'll need to figure that out, because like with the full kernel it definitely does work, but this I will not be maybe I did not provide a GL parameter to when I was running like QEMU, but I did, so it's supposed to be okay actually. I'm going to stress this one as well. It wants to initialize legacy DRM. It wants to use the render node. I don't know why it wants legacy one, but actually I have a good indication that some things will work. So go to user, lib, and this guy's Qt 5 example. I'll go to OpenGL, and I'll go, it's another cube, it's not the same one, right? Export this one, and I'll do cube. It also could not find the RM device. Let's see, what about my demos? Get out of chroot. That's the other one. So Olympic works, and it does use the DRM. So let me go ahead and see what bothers these examples. Yeah, I'll add Intel here. And I'll see how I was running it, because maybe yesterday I played with too many things. Today, like 8 AM. So let's build. Okay, so I built at least some of this, and let's see if it helps in a way, or if I need to add some more things. But it turns out this is what needed to be added, because now it actually works. It just needed the support for the particular driver. So now we have the cube, which is great. And I'll try to not close the wrong thing. And the frame per second are not impressive here, not at all. And if we go to the examples and we go to, let's say, OpenGL, let's see that cube. Then it will, of course, tell us, hey, this is not a available platform. So we'll do export QPA platform and try to run the cube. And this, I mean, like the rendering and the pipe, I mean, it's just it has something to do like with the VirGL. Like if you did it like on a real hardware, then you'd be pretty fine. So this is what it shows. It's another type of cube. Let's show another demo. So run Qt OpenGL window, and yeah, this is it is annoying, but there is no point in like trying and fix that. So we can see that it's doing like terrible. It's like very slow. Okay, like if I did it like in my own computer, okay, it doesn't exist. Yeah, I mean I could install like the examples and then do that. So this is not very impressive, okay? But if like if I had like GPU pass through or like a VirGL worked well with my driver, then it would be more impressive, and you'd see how you can like just use like the host GPU in order to do things. Okay. Otherwise, like if the support is not good, then it's like in the ancient Android emulator, you would both use things like on your calculate things on your device, and in this case, like if you don't work good enough, then you better just not work. Whew, so that's all, and we've added like a couple of things to actually to support particularly my my device. And if we look at the sizes here, and x86 boot PC image and VM Linux, then we see that we added like when we just added a little bit of like networking, like for the 9P, then we add something like 3 point something megs and maybe 10 megs here, and now things became like a little bit bigger, but they're still manageable. And this is where I'm going to cut like these examples, and from this point and on use a kernel that is more like the dev config that I built like as part of a PSCG Davos. So that is for now. If I upload it, then this should be edited like seriously. So if you watch it and find it useful, please help me with the timing so that I will know where to cut it, because there is no way I'm watching it myself. Okay, that's it.